What's going on? This is the man of the hour, Leo Rush, and you are now listening to Mac Madness Podcast.
American Lager. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm right. A cold Nestle Pure Life bottle of water. I'm great.
Man,
Delaware's slipping. They still don't have that. I need that.
bro, this thing touched down today. We're 1 week removed from the release day of Steve Austin's new beer, the lager. Released on 3/16. It's a week later. We're recording this on the 23rd of March. Several friends, whether it be other marks or people that just like beer or people that were fans of the Attitude Era, have been hitting me up on socials or via text about this beer. I've been hitting a bunch of distributors I know regularly have the IPA. This one guy I know through sneakers hit me up early this morning, and he was like, yo, Beer Mill, which was a brewery a block away from my apartment, and he goes, their word is they're going to have it around 4 o'clock tonight. So I'm expecting they're going to have a couple cases or whatever. So I'm like, 4 o'clock. I'm like, this guy's name's Alex. I'm like, Alex is going to be pulling up there. I'm on my way to pick Valentino from school. I usually try to get there around 2:30, 2:40. I'm pulling up. It's like 2:20. I was like, I got some time. So I go swing by Beer Mill, hit all the aisles. As I'm about to walk out, the guy's like, hey, can I help you find anything? Like, by any chance, you got that new El Segundo Broken Skull? And I literally, to get the words and say lager instead of IPA, it almost was hard to formulate out of my mouth. So he's like, actually, I might. He's like, here. So I go walk with him. He's in the back. There's a pallet. And this guy's taller than me, and it's coming up to his pecs. And he's ripping away the saran wrap, the plastic that's holding the pallet down. He digs in, and he pulls off a 4-pack of the Broken Skull Lager. And he's like, hey, is this what you want? I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll take a case of it. And he kind of gets this stupid look on his face. He was like, well, hold on. He grabs the case. He's like, you want a whole case? I'm like, yeah, like 6 4-packs. All right, he grabs it, brings it up to the register. He's like, well, give me a minute. It's not even in the system yet. He grabs his manager, who I see in there all the time. He comes up. He's like, are you Alex? I was like, no, I'm Eric. But I was like, I know Alex. And he's like, are you buying these for him? I was like, no, I'm not seeing him today. He's like, well, he called. I was like, I got to save him at least 1 4-pack. I was like, oh, did you only get one case? So there was only one case at a very popular Westchester distributor. And I got 5 out of the 6 4-packs. So, this is not my first one of the evening.
Of course not. Of course not. It'd be out of character if it was.
Check the American Syndicate Instagram for a very brief review, but it is great, refreshing beer. Happy I got it. I still prefer the IPA.
Oh, really? Okay, that's my next question.
Yeah, but if you like lagers, like Prep's gonna love this.
Okay.
I FaceTimed him after my second one earlier, and I was like, "Yo, this is you." And my brother wanted a review, so I FaceTimed him, and he was anticipating he wanted like as much as the lager, but he wants to try it, or as much as the IPA.
Okay, so hopefully by next Sunday they'll have more.
Well, worst case, yeah, if you're back, if I see you next weekend, I'll definitely I'll save you at least one.
Thank you. Because I know it's gonna kill you to not drink that.
I think I'm gonna do some more beer shopping this weekend.
Okay, that should be good. But I'm looking forward to it now. I got something to look forward to.
So outside of beer, which is always, a popular topic, what else is new with you in the realms of the squared circle? You watching anything new outside of the ordinary this week?
I actually didn't watch anything really at all. I did catch up some of the weekly clips from Raw and SmackDown, and Dynamite, of course, just happened tonight, so I caught some highlights from Rampage. I spent a lot of my time this weekend. I was trying to dust off my Series X, so I played a lot. I talked about last week how I got WWE 2K22, and I played that as much as I can, and I really think that game is really it's really brought back the hype in wrestling video games. It's really good. It's probably a little foreign to you now, but they revamped like the grappling system. There's like these combos that lead into actual moves now, and the graphics are fantastic. Because I've had all the SmackDown games and all the 2K games, and especially lately since 2K took it over. I'll probably say even the late SmackDown in 2010 games, I feel like a lot of them, they got real repetitive, and it wasn't a lot of fun after all the time. It didn't have a lot of replay value. But this game, I think, really has a lot of replay value. And like I said, the combo system's great, the grapple system's great. It just feels like fun, like people complain about
playing in the Thunderdome.
You don't have to play in the Thunderdome. They have the regular arenas as well. The only thing that does piss me off is that the pay-per-view arenas are the not the Thunderdome, but they're like the stage is like the Thunderdome stage because there was no stages, so that's why it's like that. So that does bother me a little bit. But people in the Creation Suite, they're great at creating their own arenas. Like I saw somebody, I'm not sure if you've seen, because somebody did the Dynamite stage in the game.
Okay. I've seen little clips on the gram.
Yeah, so and it's spot on TNT logos and everything.
Is it easy for can you get that?
Yeah, it's all in the thing. When you go into Creation Suite, you just type in what you're looking for, and it already comes up as the most downloaded thing. So if you type in AEW, you'll see all the Dynamite stages. They'll even do Revolution. Some people have done WrestleMania 17. Some done the old school Raw stage. It's really neat, the Creation Suite. It really is. So with that, the only complaint I have with it is the Rey Mysterio showcase mode. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. Especially I like the way they did it too. So now instead of just playing the game with the details, they have with the objectives. Now they have the objectives, but when you do the objectives, it leads into the actual match. So you'll have the video game version of the match, and then when you complete certain objectives, it'll jump into the actual match that happened. So that's really fun and nice to actually watch instead of just going through just the match like you had to do and just complete all the objectives. Now you kind of get the actual Rey Mysterio is actually telling the story when it cuts into these match cutscenes as well. But the only nitpick I will have is there's so many things missing from this Rey Mysterio showcase because they don't have certain guys on the Legends contracts. For example, the first match is the Halloween Havoc Cruiserweight title match with Eddie. Fine. And then it jumps to Eddie and Rey at 21. And there's a lot of glaring holes in there because that's, an 8-year difference. And, for example, I feel Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle should be in that from SummerSlam 2002, his first pay-per-view match. But
Angle didn't get picked up on it?
Angle's not on a Legends contract.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't have one. Because I remember he said that on his podcast a while back that he doesn't have Legends deal, so he's not in it. And then so that
is he of the mind frame that he didn't want one, or he wasn't off?
He turned it down.
Wow.
So that match isn't there. The WrestleMania 22 Triple Threat isn't there. So after you do WrestleMania 21 against Eddie, you jump to Judgment Day 06 against JBL, and then there's some obscure stuff.
Was that for a title?
Yeah, it was for the world title. Rey was the world champion at that time in 06.
Okay.
And then it jumps to some obscure stuff. He has a match with Kane at Cyber Sunday 08. A match with Batista on an episode of SmackDown. He fought Undertaker at Royal Rumble 2010, which is a really good match. And there's a couple modern things. They hit a match with Grand Metalik and Samoa Joe on Raw over the last couple of years. But I definitely think they missed a lot. But it's only because of the guys they couldn't get because they weren't on the Legends deal. But I highly recommend the game. It was sold out in my area. They had me. I would have to drive 45 minutes to get it. So I had some GameStop points. I bought a gift card. I just redeemed.
I appreciate that you ain't got the physical copy.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
No. So they told me I went in there with confidence. I redeemed the coupon on my GameStop app and everything. And then he said, "Oh, we don't have it." I'm like, "Really?" Then he checked the closest one that had it. He says 30 to 45 minutes away. I was like, "God, well, I'm not doing that." So he told me how to do it. It's "Well, I could sell you this gift card or Xbox gift card. You could just buy it digitally." I don't like to buy games digitally, so I ended up just doing it.
I know Dan bought it digitally. That's how I seen it.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'll just buy it digitally to avoid the hassle because I was shocked that nobody had it, especially in the area. Because especially by my job, there's 2 GameStops within the area within 5 minutes of each other. None of them had it, even by my house. I live across the street from a GameStop. They didn't have it either. The mall didn't have it. So I was like, God, well, I'll just buy it digitally. But definitely a fun game. It's definitely has a lot of replay value, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I played some stuff with Scott Hall. We talked about figure stuff with X-Pac, for example. They have X-Pac in the black and red gear that we talked about, which I think is a lot of fun. And the WCW stages are fun. And it's just a really overall good game. I'm definitely enjoy playing it. That's all I did this really weekend.
it's funny because we're always talking about that X-Pac in black and red gear. So I have, for the longest time, I got these. I always switch majority of my collection and what they're stored in, but I would say for the past 5 years, if not more, majority of them has been in these boxes for my job, which are like what you would get a case of paper in. And I've always, for the longest time, I used to have, when they didn't have as many of them, the NWO and DX Elites in the Asics Wale IC title special box. Because when I bought it, I got both boxes. So it was a box in a box. Like you had the GR Asics box holding the shoes. So I was like, I'm going to do something extra with this box. So it was cool to me because it was just one shoe box and it was easy to access. And boom, here's my Shawn Michaels and the other DX guys. But then as I got more and more Shawn and more Triple H Elites, I was like, all right, well. Then I was like, all right, well, just keep their DX figures and then everything else will go somewhere else. Recently, I put all Triple H's together, all Shawn's together. So it was the Outsiders and the Outlaws in it. But then recently, I realized I didn't have my Razor Ramones and I didn't have my Diesels. So I tried putting them in there. I'm like, it doesn't all fit. And then tried configuring, because I have a shoebox from a retired pair, one of the Nike slide boxes, or like the slide out boxes, has all my Undertakers. I was like, I need to get like another box. I had this this small plastic container I used for a bunch of stuff I took to Dwight that I like traded to him at their action figures. Well, I was trying to put all my Hardys in there, and then I kept like figuring out, I was like trying to move the DX stuff, and I kept running past the black and red X-Pac basic. An underrated one of the best basics, since the basic line is long dead. R.I.P.
And when I tell you, when I was so mad when the reveal came with the DX Army gear underneath was his '99 Kane gear. I was so upset. I was so hurt. Wrong red and black gear.
Yeah. So well, it makes the basic still good to me.
Yeah, it does. Like that basic was great.
Yeah, so I'm happy because at that point, if it like, there's a Road Dogg basic that came with the Triple H gear from the DX Army set. Mm-hmm. So the DX Army, like once I knew that was revealed, like last year that was in a render, I got rid of that with the SummerSlam basic. So those two Triple H's were gone. So I got an extra. So I have 2 DX basics, just that black and red X-Pac and the DX with the Road Dogg. It's an underrated figure where it's got the barcode DX shirt. Classic. Well, to hop off the figure topic for a moment, we do have a few questions this week, which is pretty rare. Used to be a common thing on the show, but Sleepy Prep wrote in a few questions. Sleepy Prep wanted to know, one of the hottest topics in the world right now is member of the Rhodes family. Where's he going? Everyone's saying Cody signed with WWE. We're going to assume that's the case. I don't know if he's going to be showing up in a revived Ring of Honor, if he's going to come back to AEW, but book the ideal scenario for Cody's return. And I'll let you take this first.
Well, I'm going to be boring because I think they're doing it right. Now, I don't know how you feel about how they're doing it. I know you would do it different, but I don't know how you specifically feel, but I think this is great because if you look at everything in hindsight, they've been, not even just with Rollins, they've been telling the story with everybody, of everybody getting to WrestleMania. They did it with the women. They did it with Nakamura and Rick Boogs. They've done it with just about everybody on the roster, just trying to get them to WrestleMania. And Rollins has had the best journey to get to WrestleMania because he had that awesome triple threat tag. Well, first of all, he started with Roman at the Rumble. He started teaming with Owens. They had the tag match a couple weeks ago on Raw, which was amazing. And then, as distraught as they were, because that was like their that was their last chance to get to WrestleMania. And then, but later that night, Owens found a way to get himself to WrestleMania. And then then Rollins ends up facing AJ on Raw to get to WrestleMania, to face Edge just to get on the card, and loses by disqualification. Amazing, perfectly. And then even his promo after the match was great as well, because he's like, this is bullshit, which is amazing. So, and then the whole crowd's chanting for Cody and stuff. So it's like, it's building the anticipation. Now, to add on to this, what I think should happen is, I don't think we should see Cody on Monday. I don't. I think that one of the officials, probably Adam Pearce, comes out and says, you'll have a match at WrestleMania. And we don't see Cody on Monday. We see him on night 2, late in the card as possible. Maybe not semi-main, but before the semi-main. Make us wait as long as possible to build that anticipation to have Cody, to see who Seth Rollins' opponent is. Just to build the anticipation, because we always say that we want to be surprised. We want moments. If Cody comes out on Monday, I don't really think that'll be much of a moment as if he just comes out Sunday and Rollins doesn't even know who he is. So I personally like the way they built it. I think they built Rollins and every superstar of the story of getting to WrestleMania, and Rollins has been booked the best way with it. So just have him wait it out till Sunday as late as possible, and that's how you get Cody.
I'm not going to disagree with anything you said.
Really?
I think the match is the build. I think the build-up has actually been good.
Okay.
I will admit there's been a lot of other talk shows or podcasts where a lot of people are crapping on the stipulation they did last week on Raw. I get it. They gotta fill 3 hours of weekly episodic TV. I can see how a fan, now especially somebody, and we'll get to this in a later question, but if you're removed from the product, and let's say you're like me, I watch a 3-hour Raw in under 30 minutes every week because I'm fast forwarding because I don't care. But I watch 2 hours of Dynamite and I fast forward the commercials. And like days I start late, and if I do skim through a little bit of entrances and matches, or not matches, just like a little bit of maybe I'll get 30 seconds after the commercial and I don't rewind, I'm mad at myself because I want to enjoy the show. I never feel that way with Raw. But that main event segment, which never matters. I've been watching it the past couple weeks as, are we going to see Cody? Are we going to see him? So I do feel like, now again, I'm going to sound like a whiny mark, but I feel like I get hosed a little bit because I watch this product and then I'm expecting something and there's nothing there. So at this point, I do fully agree because we had this week. All right, it's going to be Owens versus Rhodes. Owens versus Rollins. Owens has this segment with Austin. If Rollins beats him, they're best friends. If he beats his best friend, he gets a segment. Well, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to stay and watch because obviously Owens is going to go over. What's going to happen after? Nothing happens. So, all right, well, next week. Maybe it's going to happen now. So obviously, I do hope exactly what you said. I hope this coming week, there's no reason to see. There's no reason to see.
None whatsoever.
Honestly, I want to watch Raw because Brock's the WWE champion. I should see Brock on Raw, and I should see Brock and Roman need more Raw interactions at this point. They're jobbing out Balor, who's the new U.S. champion, who should be a focal point on the show. There's no singles division champion. The main focus championship-wise on Raw has been RK Bro as the Raw Tag Champions. I do agree it should be something on night 2. I feel like that would make sense. I think Adam Pearce should come out. My only nitpick, I would say Adam Pearce should tell Rollins next week, you don't have a match. They should escort him out. I think he should try the same thing on night 1. Maybe put himself in the Andre the Giant Memorial and he loses. He's the last person to get eliminated. Night 2. Night 2, we get him and Cody having a match. Some way, somehow. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be an awesome pop. My only thing is, I'm sure it'll be a good match, and I'm being a mark when I say it. I want them to have a match. I want it to be a good match. I want Cody to go over. And as good as the match is going to be, can they have a storyline that goes on or goes down later? Man, I want Cody to do something else. I want him to have the match, and I want him to call his next shot. I mean, if they got us waiting that much, I don't know. I want there to be a little something extra. That's just we already got pretty much, besides the mid-card titles, the 2 nights are pretty much set in stone. Now, obviously, we might have these, we don't know if the KO show is going to turn into a match. We don't know if Rollins is going to have a match. but there's no confirmed U.S. title match. There's no confirmed IC title match.
I think the U.S. title is. I think it's confirmed.
I think that's still, at least from the dirt.
Okay.
It's not saying confirmed. I don't think Priest did anything on Raw, but again, I watched 3 hours of Raw in 20 minutes.
Okay, yeah, because I remember last week Damian Priest did beat Balor, and it looks to be they're going to set up. Cause I'm not sure if you know, but Damian Priest has an alter ego, the Damien. So I think it's going to be the Damien versus the Demon at WrestleMania.
Oh, well, that would be dope. I'm here for that. That would make sense. They were doing the Damien thing while I was a babyface for some time. Any other tidbits on what you think would be the right way on booking Cody?
Well, I kind of like your idea of Rollins kind of like not even having a mystery opponent announced on Monday, just kind of him like showing up and possibly somewhat hijacking the show. And it will make sense it'll make sense for night 2 because like, all right, this is the last night. I'm doing something, and then Cody just come out.
Bubba said or busted open, and it's one of those things like, again, obviously, Raw's been around 30 years almost. It's one of those things you're gonna see same things be redone. We've seen people go out there and countless times, whether they actually do it or not, they're gonna say, I'm gonna hold up the show. Or like it'll go to a commercial break. I'm not leaving the ring, and after a commercial break, an authority figure comes out and pulls them out the ring or brings security or whatever. Has it ever happened at a pay-per-view? If so, maybe once or two, but it was probably once or twice, but it was probably a B show. Somebody holding up Mania, like, yo, the show's not going on until I get a
not
match.
Mania, no.
That would be special. We need something fresh. We need something like that. And we should get that match similar to the poster behind you at Mania 34 when Taker and Cena wasn't a declared match until then.
Yeah. So I think we kind of came up with some good booking.
Thank you. So, another question from Prep. He wants to know our thoughts on Hangman Adam Page's world title reign thus far. He does have a note that he personally does think it's been underrated. He thinks the matches been great, quality, top billing, with fire undercard matches that if you're following the full product, you're enjoying everything. You're getting a girl, in his eyes, he's getting a good world champion and a good undercard. And when you listen to the crowd while he's out there, he's still so over. Your thoughts on Hangman Adam Page as world champion?
Well, we kind of hit on this a few weeks ago, I think when we previewed Revolution. Just because you could still have great matches and all these things, but do you still feel like the champion? Now, to us or whoever's watching, like, you may feel like he's the champion, but it's all about kind of the way you position. Because I still feel like there's other things that seem to be more priority than Hangman Page as champion. Like, I'm not granted, I still haven't watched it yet, but his first challenge. Oh no, it wasn't his first challenger. Brian was his first challenger. The Lance Archer thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was
two matches back to back with Brian, then the Lance.
Archer. So the Lance Archer thing. I thought that was going to be his opponent going into Revolution, but it wasn't. It was before Revolution, and I don't know how you feel about Lance Archer at this point, but that's nothing really to get excited about. The Adam Cole thing was kind of, it wasn't built very long, so take it for how you want it. And we talked about.
Well, it's still going on.
Oh, is it? Okay, so take it.
Adam Cole actually steals the belt from him tonight.
Okay,
and he leaves with it.
Okay, so
and commentary's putting it over. He's stealing the belt.
So that's still going on. But going into the Revolution match, we was like, okay, but it still felt like Adam Cole was a bigger deal than him, even though he was the champion. It still felt like the Bucks were a bigger deal than him as a champion, and CM Punk and MJF was a bigger deal than him as champion. And as the champion, you kind of want to be at the top of that pecking order. So if I say what I have to say is underwhelming, even though he's getting, you can still get a good crowd response. You can still have top matches, but underwhelming is more about where you are in the pecking order. And even though he's a champion, he's not, for me, at the top of my pecking order of things I'm looking for in AEW. As much, even though I do like Hangman Page.
So my thoughts on it. I think this is classic. I agree with Prep. I think this is an underrated run, but I think this is classic where, this show here has been around 6 years. And when we talk about stuff, whether it be 6 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, wow, that was an underrated run. That was an underrated storyline. I think in hindsight, this has the potential to be it because these matches have been great. The issue is I don't necessarily agree that he's being booked properly. Is everything on AEW going well and the undercard being booked strongly? Yes. However, now again, Revolution, he did main event the card. But we get a segment a little bit in the main. Jay Lethal and Adam Cole have a match. Adam Cole goes over. Him and Red Dragon call out Adam Page. He comes out. Eventually, there's a low blow. They beat on him. And when when Jurassic Express comes out, they bolt with the belt. Why couldn't that segment be at the end? I get it. Jericho is, he's got this new thing with Inner Circle 2.0, and they have a match, squash two guys from the Dark Order. That's my issue. I think I'm still more interested in Hangman Adam Page than I am with Adam Cole. I don't think Adam Cole's the right guy to dethrone him. I get it. There could be another babyface in line for Adam Cole to beef with, but I'm already kind of over it after the Revolution storyline. If there's going to be another rematch, I think it's got to be a rematch or a Dynamite coming up soon, and then boom, on to the next thing. But I do think we need to get, once this is over or as this progresses, we need to get Adam Page back to the main, the 10 o'clock slot. The show should be ending, and we should be seeing the champ. Whether it's him drinking a beer, whether it's him helping somebody out, or him going over, whether it be a singles match, a trios match, or whatever. But him in the middle of the show, it does not seem world champion-esque to me. We didn't see after Revolution. CM Punk wasn't there. They were hyped up that he was returning. He had a banger with Dax Harwood in the opener. That was more important than the little segment we saw with the world champion. Jericho with 2.0 doing the thing in the main. Well, they booked that. Like, that was more important. Everything they did in the women's division kind of seemed like it got a little more focused than that. And then the other thing, like, I'm more, I hate to say it, but I'm more interested in what's going on in the mid-card, the TNT Championship. Everything America's Top Team's doing with Scorpio Sky is more interesting, and that's must-see TV on a weekly basis. So I think they need to do something better. I don't want to say just because what we've got so far that it's time to strip them of the belt. But I do hope we get a change. I don't think Adam Cole is not the man to be dethroning Adam Page. Not this reign. Maybe Adam Page loses the title, wins it back in a year, and then Cole can beat him. I don't think this is the right time.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. So I think we can all agree that, how can I put this, that these mid-card world title reigns come in as underrated. When you think about, for example, Kurt Angle in 2000, world champion, but he main evented, but he wasn't booked to be the main event. He main evented when he was with Austin or The Rock. Other than that, he was probably in the middle of the card. For more recency, Kofi Kingston. We enjoyed Kofi's run. He feuded with Joe, he feuded with Randy, and then eventually lost to Brock.
Yep. But he also was defending that title. I also feel like he main evented the show while he was champion. Like Bobby Lashley in that second reign. Now, again, I know he didn't compete while he had that second reign.
I don't think Kofi really main evented as champion. I know a lot of the cards he was thrown into the middle.
Maybe I'm thinking too much of Monday Night Raw because
maybe on SmackDown or whatever champion. Not on pay-per-view. He didn't main event on pay-per-view. The main SmackDown or whatever show he was on, he probably
was on SmackDown.
Yeah, but the pay-per-views he didn't main event.
A match runs through my head immediately when you bring that up is him and Rollins on Raw.
Okay. Yeah, so he didn't main event a lot, but if you want to talk about storylines, a lot of those times they're going to come in underrated. And to piggyback off Hangman Page, they're in a weird AEW's they're kind of in a funky spot with him because whether or not they think it's working or whether or not the way it's working, they don't have a pay-per-view until May. So I'm not sure if this Adam Cole thing will last until May, but they're in an odd spot because who's next after Adam Cole? I'm not sure what the rankings are, but you have to think about, will Hangman be the one? Because basically, I'm fantasy booking, but I think we can all agree this is going to happen. Does Hangman Page face CM Punk for the title at All Out in Chicago in August? Is he the one that's going to face him?
There's so many moving parts there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Would it be Punk in Chicago? Probably.
I would believe so because with the ranking system they have, he's only lost once or twice. And
he's already when he went over on Dax, he's already doing you're right. But I mean, can we hold him off to August? I'm sure they can. But he's already doing the gesture.
Yeah.
He wants that belt.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if Hangman will make it to August or not, but it's kind of interesting to see they're in a weird spot now. Like, do you want to go with Hangman until the end of the summer?
I'm over here just trying to figure out. Yeah, okay. So, I guess the thing that runs through my head with all of it is I believe it was All Out 2019. That's when Jericho won the world title. Jericho won the world title. Second, you could say it's the fourth AEW event because we had Double or Nothing. We had the 2 free pay-per-views in the middle of the summer. Jericho wins. He's the first champion. Holds the title till Revolution 2020, right before COVID. Moxley wins. Omega wins the title at Full Gear and then drops the title. No, I'm trying to remember. I guess it was Full Gear again. Yeah, Full Gear.
Yeah, well, I think didn't he win at Winners Coming? I think
Hangman?
it was. No, Kenny. I think Kenny won at the Winners show. The one with Sting came back.
Like a Dynamite?
The one with Sting came back. Is it called Winners Coming? Then he won it then on TV.
I don't believe so because I just searched.
But he did lose it at Full Gear to Hangman.
Adam. Oh wait. You're right. This doesn't look
okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't done. Okay, perfect, cool. All right, thank you for catching that. The only thing I'm trying to figure out here is Kenny won on Dynamite. Everyone else has one on a pay-per-view. So it wouldn't be completely out of the realm until between now and May for there to be a title change, and it could happen on Dynamite.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of the thing. I don't know. I guess Adam Page could win it in the meantime, but I do think they got to spice something up to make that world title division matter more. Something's got to change. I love both Adams. I'm a fan. At this point in life, I think I'm more of a fan of Hangman over Bay.
So much more to relate to.
I relate to both. Bay's both. We're both PA born, PA proud. Actually, I don't know how proud he is. He books himself from Florida. Speaking of booking yourself, as much as I'm knocking the current world title picture in AEW, I'm still a fan. Enjoyed Dynamite tonight. Might even be crazy enough to watch Rampage this Friday. I don't think I'm crazy enough to watch SmackDown. It ain't the go-home show yet, so I won't be watching SmackDown this week. Mr. Josh Prepagina had a third and final question for us. And I'm going to answer first because I think your answer is going to matter more. How can WWE regain a lost fan? I'm going to give you the most Mark answer in the world. I'm actually going to give a two-parter. One, we just talked about how currently, at least to my knowledge, Ricochet's IC title, which he's tweeting a picture of the belt that he won 2 weeks ago and saying, in case you forgot. So it's forgettable. The Intercontinental title is forgettable. Finn Balor wins the title, and then he wins the U.S. title. He loses to Austin Theory, and then he loses to Damian Priest. Make those mid-card titles matter. Make the mid-card titles matter, and I'll be a little more interested. Aside from that, this is what I'm saying, Mark. Book the hell out of Cody. If Cody comes, I'm going to watch Mania. I'm going to watch both nights. I'm going to watch the third night because I'm going to watch the Monday Night Raw, and hopefully they do something strong with him. If it's kind of a BS storyline right from the jump, I'll lose interest real quick and be back to Raw as a 30-minute product and SmackDown something I watched the highlights of Saturday hungover after. Bestie, ball's in your court.
Okay. First of all, do like I do. Don't take it so damn serious. That's the first thing, because.
Time out. So take it serious. So should I just watch the bad product? And
no.
Say, oh
no. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this: a lot of people, when their guy doesn't win, oh my god, why would they do that? Like their life is ending. Don't do that.
Yeah.
don't do.
Well, we all know I don't do that.
I know. I'm talking about how to get the lapsed fans. So I'm telling fans, don't take this shit so seriously because it's not that serious. And what I've done is I take in my wrestling completely different now. Like I said, like unless it's
taking in a lot differently these days.
Unless it's a pay-per-view week, I'm not cramming everything in. Like when it's pay-per-view, when we're trying to preview a pay-per-view and review a pay-per-view, that's when especially the preview, I'm trying to gather everything together because we have weeks of build. I gather everything together and I give my synopsis on what I think is going to go on and what's going on with the storytelling. Review of the show, I'm watching everything, all 3-4 hours of it, so I can give the best review I possibly can. But other than that, I kind of like pick and choose. So, for example, like this week, not much happened, but like Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, that was fun. I paid attention to that. What else? What else happened? A couple weeks ago, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. Becky messed up Bianca's throat or whatever. You know, a lot of stuff isn't that important. A lot of stuff is hit or miss. So I'm kind of looking at things on a weekly basis. Unless we're reviewing a preview and pay-per-view, I'm looking at the things that hit and I'm paying attention to that. So that's number one. Number two, you have to, like you said, Intercontinental titles. Everybody cares about titles. Everybody does. Make them feel important. Everybody is nostalgic for their childhood in their belts. So you care about the titles. You want these titles to mean stuff. But at the same time, you have to have, this will help a Lapsed fan, you have to have like compelling superstars. And in this day and age, it's actually hard because social media, like there's no like the heels eat with the heels and the faces drive with the faces. There's none of that anymore. So it's kind of hard to do it. So for me, for the Lapsed fan, if the Lapsed fan isn't enjoying Brock Lesnar, then I don't know what to tell you. Because this man's been amazing. It really has. He really has. But that's what I would say. Just don't take it too seriously and kind of try to gravitate towards somebody. And like you said, Cody, you want to see Cody booked in a position. And then depending on how old you are, if you're talking about for people our age, they're holding, like if our age, like they're holding like their Attitude Era so close to their heart because they think everything the Attitude was great when it really wasn't. So it's like,
hey, watch it.
So it's like they won't be like, oh, I want to see shit blow up. I want to see people drinking beer. I want to see the girls naked and stuff. It's just like that's not going to happen.
There's OnlyFans. OnlyFans out here, 10K in the first.
There you go, Reddit. But like I said, just try to gravitate towards somebody, and hopefully they do the right thing by them because WWE, like as much as we shit on them and stuff like that, there's years of that on this show. They actually do and can tell good stories when they feel like it. AEW, same as well. They can tell good stories. Not everything hits, but they can do it. So I would just say try to find somebody to gravitate towards them. Sit back and enjoy the storytelling. Be patient. AEW is doing a great job at long-term storytelling. WWE does it when they want to, but AEW, since they only have those 4 shows, they're doing a great time spreading out their storytelling, which is really good. So I would just say, be patient, gravitate towards somebody, and just don't take it serious. Just don't take it so seriously. Just sit back and enjoy it.
So I'm just going to counter Prep's question with another question for you. So the main thing I think of what you're saying out there that is current, that is good, that you can't hook, that everyone should be able to hook on to, is what Brock's doing. But Brock is doing that with Roman on SmackDown. 2 out of the 5 hours of weekly episodic TV. You're not defending that 3-hour shit show they give us every month.
Oh, no. There's really no defending that all the time because, like, Edge is a highlight on Raw, and
sorry to cut you off, but also Edge. Now again, Edge, we get him more than Brock, but not much more. And then Brock, how much are we going to get him after Mania?
Oh, probably not at all.
We've been spoiled with him right now, and yeah, we did just get that terribly bad camera cut angle of him running a forklift into that SUV. But when Roman goes over at Mania, he's going.
Yeah, it's Edge and RK Bro at the moment for me, and that's about it for Raw. But also, like for the Lapsed fan and Preps our age, so I said we get matches and moments, but the thing is, there's so much going on that these things don't last forever. Like if you kind of flip the timeline, flip the events in the years happening. For example, TLC, the original TLCs. how would they last the? They've held their spot through time. But if it happened now, would those matches still be in high regard, or would they just be forgotten because there's so much going on now and the world moves too fast to care? So there's plenty of things that go on that we tout on the show that is amazing, but in a month from now or so, we'll just forget about it. I always say the world moves too fast to care, and that's one thing with everything nowadays, especially wrestling, music, movies, TV shows. It's the same thing. Nothing really stands the test of time. If you really stand the test of time, you really did something. And that's one thing that's a problem with wrestling. I'm not sure what Prep's been watching. I'm not sure if Prep's gravitated towards it.
He watches the AEW product weekly.
Yeah.
And stays up to that. He's entertained by what he gets on a weekly Wednesday basis. I talked to him almost when the show was starting. He's like, hey, I don't like fast forward. He's like, I'm going to watch it when it starts. And 10 o'clock, I'll be at bed at 10:01. You know how he is.
Yeah, so that also kills things for today's fans as well. So, listen, I can't defend Raw. I just can't.
Speaking of Dynamite, I did give my one, my heartstrings are in the mid-card titles. One thing you will pop and approve for, Sammy Guevara did hit a little Shawn Michaels line where he was saying, I don't need anyone. I'm paraphrasing, but he said something about he doesn't need people nitpicking his style. How they've been saying it's going to take years off his career. He said it's worth it. And the outpour he gets from the crowd, the love he gets from them. And he said, I'm going to put on a show like nobody else. Because why? Because I can. Go back and forth. Dan Lambert comes out with the world's greatest, whoever they are, Scorpio Sky.
Men of the Year.
Men of the Year. I can't remember the name because that's such a bad name. Love Scorpio Sky. Ethan Page, big fan of both, but tag team name, it's still ain't for me. However, they come out. Basically, Dan Lambert says, "Hey, look, we already beat you. We're not focusing on the past." Dip out. Ty cuts a little promo. They keep going back and forth, and Dan Lambert takes off because he is wearing the second TNT belt. We talked about this last week. He's wearing one. Scorpio Sky's got the other on his shoulder. So as he's leaving, he kisses the main center plate. And Ty calls him out. He said, by the way, you wouldn't be kissing that if you knew what we did while wearing it. And then Ty tweets out after a picture of him laying in bed naked with the belt.
Yeah. I got to look at that. I got to find that.
That's definitely a good one. That's a mark for a belt and some good storylines and a good promo. You got 3 in 1 right there. Shout out to the Wednesday product.
I gotta find that. I gotta look that up. That's awesome.
Well, wrap up to the show. I ain't got much more in this bag of tricks for the evening. Next week we'll be back to preview the show of shows.
Most stupendous WrestleMania.
2 nights of WrestleMania. So until then, maybe have a couple cold ones. El Segundo Lager or an IPA. Go on Ringside Collectibles. Use code MMadness to save 10%. My best friend and I will see you next week. And also hit that like button so I can get the hell out of my apartment and I can get a house. Hey, subscribe, comment, everything. Baylor needs a 4-bedroom room right now. For real. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week.